Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic whatever time it is in your part of the world. If you're here in Australia, it's morning, so I hope you're having a great morning. I've been away for a while, but I'm back here and I'm going to be doing a review for you all. Now, before I do this review, I thought I would clear something up. Now, there are a few individuals who unfortunately have been throwing a few insults at me. Now, this is not going to be a rant video. I'm not going to name any names, and it's not going to be a hateful sort of message because I don't feel any hate over it. But for those of you who are wondering, I know there are one or two of you who are wondering why these insults have been thrown at me and why they are saying what they're saying. And here I'm going to clear it up. So yes, 6 years ago I had testicular cancer and I had a testicle removed. So I've only got one. Now, I made a video about this a long time ago, so I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't seen it, and maybe this will clear everything up. I didn't think that people would use that against me, but obviously they have, which is disappointing, but it's their decision, and if it makes them happy, well, I'm all for making people happy, so if they want to keep doing it, feel free. But I want you all to know that it's not something I regret, or it's not something I feel ashamed of. It was unfortunate. You can't prevent some cancers. So I really don't feel any hatred towards the people throwing these insults at me. I think it's a little bit disappointing, but, it's not something I lose sleep over, because if I didn't want anyone to throw insults at me like that, I wouldn't have made the video. Now, I was aware that insults could be thrown at me because of that video, but I just didn't think anyone would do that, but unfortunately they have. So I want to put it out there in the open. Yes, I've only got one testicle. It was a difficult time, but I'm over it, and I'm a much stronger person for it. So that's the reason, and I beg you all not to take sides, and just keep going as you are. I'm not going to name names. This is not going to be a name and shame video. But yeah, I just wanted to clear it all up to know that it doesn't hurt me, and it's not something that I keep a secret. So that's it, and that's all you're going to hear from it. Now, the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is a French horror film. It was made in 2007. Now, this is one of the lesser-known French horror films. So, French horror fanatics, I wouldn't be surprised if you overlooked this one, because I overlooked this one myself. So, it was made in 2007, directed by Franck Vestiel, and this movie is called Eden Log. Now, the story is as follows. Tolbiac wakes up naked, disorientated, and lost in a dark cave. He's cold, hurt, and has no idea what brought him there, nor what happened to the dead man lying next to him. Surrounded by the ruins of an ancient underground world, hounded by ravenous wild creatures and evil phantoms, Tolbiac struggles to regain his memory as he winds his way to the surface through a network of tunnels and laboratories and begins to unearth the deep mystery behind the ancient organizations that owns the tunnels. Eden Log. So what we have, Tolbiac is the main character, played by Clovis Cornillac, who is fast becoming one of my favourite actors. He wakes up in this mud bath. He's in this cave. He's in a labyrinth of caves. Caves are everywhere. Very, very dark. He can't see a thing. He's completely lost his memory. He has no idea why he's there. And the viewer is, none the wiser as well, because the movie starts off with him regaining consciousness. So there is a strong level of mystery behind this whole film. So he wakes up, he is disorientated, he has no idea where he is, and he sees this person next to him who's dead. So straight away he knows that the environment that he's in is very hostile. So he takes the uniform of this dead man and takes the flashlight to help him see through these tunnels, and he finds out that he's being hunted by these mutants. And he's also being hunted by these guards, these human guards. So he knows that he is a very important player in this whole cave sort of environment, but he doesn't know why. So he has to get to the bottom of why he's here and the mystery surrounding Eden Log, which is an organization that owns this whole environment. So it turns out that he has a lot more to do with the environment that he's in than what he thinks. So when he regains his memory, he slowly realizes why he's here. And I'm not going to give anything away with the story. It's definitely one that you have to watch to see for yourself to get full enjoyment out of the film. Now, it's a very hard film to explain in a synopsis, but it's an easy enough film to follow when you're watching it if you're paying close attention. So this is as far as I'm going to go with the synopsis. If you want to know more, please go and watch the film. So my thoughts on the movie. Now, this is a very different film from the usual French horror, so I can see a lot of French horror fans being disappointed with this one. It really did feel like an art house kind of film. There is not much dialogue, so the actor Clovis Cornillac really had to do a strong job in his body language, and I felt that he did. It had a level of a primal sort of feel to it, like caveman. He didn't really talk much, and he had the actions of a caveman, a Neanderthal. And it really did prove very, very unique, because it is set in a futuristic world, but at the same time it kind of had a primal feel to it. So it really did make a very enjoyable experience for me, because I went into this one with the right expectations. I wasn't expecting something like Inside, Martyrs, Frontiers, and High Tension, because if I did that, I would have been disappointed. But I went into this one feeling that I was going to get an arty kind of feel and a very different, unique approach. Now, there is a horror element to it, but there is also a strong sci-fi element to it. Now, I can't stand sci-fi, but I enjoyed this film, so it shows you that it blends sci-fi with horror very, very well. The mutants were very, very good and very vicious and caused a lot of fear. And there was genuine scenes of suspense in this film, so there is enough in it for a horror fan, so don't be put off if you're not into sci-fi. But I just strongly urge you to go into this one with caution, because if you're after a bloodbath, you're going to be disappointed. There is one scene of gore, but it's not overly explicit, so it definitely plays on your mind. It's a very atmospheric movie. The lighting of this film was superb, even though it's a very dark film. The director had a very good effort in this one with the lighting department. You could pretty much see everything that's going on, and at the same time it wasn't a colourful movie. It's a very black and white kind of feel to the film. Now, it's not a black and white film, but because it's in the cave, it has a lot of black and white elements, which really suited it, and I thought atmospherically this film was brilliant. And the director really did show a lot of skill. The acting was great, and the film just unfolds. But I have to tell you once again that this will be confusing to a lot of people. It took me 2 goes before I fully understood what was going on, because it is a film that has a lot of layers to it. Now, it does send a strong message to the future and what this world is becoming. So it is a film with a lot of depth. It's not a shallow sort of gore-fest film, so you're going to have to pay a lot of attention from start to finish to fully understand what this film is all about. The ending is very confusing, but after seeing it a second time, I really got an understanding of what it's all about. So it's definitely a film I would recommend, but going to it with caution. If you're a gorehound, this is not going to appeal to you at all. But if you want something that's going to make you think, and you want something that's a little bit different for your French horror collection, then I would strongly recommend you check out Eden Log. It's a film that hasn't got as much recognition as the new wave of French horror, which is a little bit disappointing, because I feel that this is an important film for any French horror collector. So yeah, I would recommend it, but it has very subtle messages, so they're not obvious, so you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to get the whole film. So just be warned, it will make you think. So yeah, that's my review of Eden Log. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be doing a review in the very near future. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.